The jungle was quiet, too quiet for a world at war. The human soldier Daniel crept forward with his blaster pressed close to his chest. His heart beat faster than the sound of the insects around him. He had been dropped alone, separated from his squad after the crash. The enemy was out there, beast-like aliens who hunted at night. Everyone in the barracks had whispered about them. Huge, wild, and merciless. Daniel's boots pressed into the wet soil. He looked up. The giant moon above the alien planet glowed, brighter than Earth's sun. It painted the leaves silver and made the shadows stretch like claws. His eyes darted left and right, but all he heard was the drip of rain. Then he heard it. A low growl. Daniel froze. His throat tightened, his hands sweating around his weapon. The sound came from behind the thick vines. He tried to step back, but before he could, crash. Something exploded out of the leaves. He didn't see her face at first. He only felt the force. The beast woman slammed into him with terrifying strength, knocking him flat onto the jungle floor. His weapon flew from his hands, landing somewhere in the mud. His breath left his body as the air crushed from his chest. Daniel blinked, trying to focus, and then his eyes locked on hers. Red eyes, glowing like fire in the moonlight. She was not like the soldiers had described. Yes, she was strong. Her arms, pinning his shoulders to the ground. Yes, she was alien, her ears sharp, her tail whipping behind her like a predator's whip. But she was not a mindless beast. Her face was striking, almost beautiful, her hair black and wild, dripping with rain. She wore armor made of leather and bone, decorated with strange glowing marks. She leaned closer, and Daniel felt his heart stop. The alien beast woman sniffed the air around him, slow, deliberate, as if searching for something hidden on his body. Her breath touched his skin. The closeness was terrifying. He could see her sharp teeth when she parted her lips, but she did not bite. Instead, she tilted her head, confused. Human. Her voice was rough, strange, but clear. Daniel's eyes widened. She could speak. His body screamed at him to fight back, but his mind froze. She pressed her hand against his chest, right over his heart, her claws light against his armor. He thought she would rip him apart. Instead, she just listened. Her ears twitched. "You smell wrong," she whispered. Daniel swallowed hard, his throat dry. I don't understand." Her eyes narrowed, glowing brighter. She lowered her face, sniffing near his neck, his shoulder, his chest. The strange glowing tattoos on her arms pulsed like they were alive, reacting to his presence. And then she spoke again. "You are not the enemy." The words shook Daniel to his core. He should have felt relief. But instead, fear twisted deeper. Why was she sparing him? Why had she tackled him instead of killing him? The jungle around them suddenly erupted with more growls. Shadows moved between the trees. Daniel realized they were not alone. The beast woman snapped her head toward the sound. Her tail lashed in anger, and for a moment she growled back like a wolf defending her prey. Then she turned to him, her red eyes burning with urgency. "Stay quiet," she hissed. She lifted herself slightly off him but did not move away. Her body shielded his from sight. Daniel heard heavy footsteps approaching through the rain, other beast warriors searching. His heart pounded. If they found him, he was dead. But why was this alien protecting him? The footsteps came closer. The other beasts sniffed the air, snarling. Daniel's mind raced. If they discovered him here, would she fight them? Would she betray him? Or was she hiding him because she had plans of her own? Her claws pressed harder into his chest. Her eyes met his. For the first time, Daniel saw something behind the fire in them. Not hate, not anger, something else. Curiosity. The night grew darker, and the jungle seemed to hold its breath. Daniel lay trapped under her, unable to move, unable to fight, unable to understand. He only knew one thing. This was not the war he had been trained for. This was something else, something far more dangerous, and it had only just begun. I could feel her claws pressing into my chest, not enough to cut, but enough to remind me she had the power to end me in a second. My breath was stuck in my throat, and I tried not to move. The rain slid down my face, dripping into the mud, but her glowing red eyes kept me frozen. Then I heard it again. Heavy footsteps moving through the jungle. Low growls rumbling like thunder from the shadows. More of her kind. They were close. I could almost see their shapes moving between the trees, sniffing the air like hunters. My heart wanted to explode out of my chest. If they found me, it was over. I had no weapon, no chance. But then something impossible happened. The beast woman pressed her body lower over mine, hiding me beneath her frame. I felt her hair brush against my face, smelled the strange, wild scent of her skin, something between earth and fire. She growled back at the others, sharp and commanding, like a wolf telling the pack to stay away. The jungle grew silent for a moment. Only the rain whispered. Then, one by one, the other footsteps faded. The growls melted into the distance, until it was only her and me again. I couldn't stop staring at her. My mind screamed to push her away, to escape, but my body refused to move. She turned her face down to me, her red eyes glowing even brighter. "Why do you not fight?" she asked. Her voice was low, broken by a strange accent, but I understood her perfectly. I swallowed hard. My words came out weak. "Because you didn't kill me." Her lips curved into something between a smile and a snarl. Her claws slid off my chest, but she didn't move away. She leaned closer, her nose brushing my neck, her breath hot against my skin. She sniffed me again, slow and deliberate, like she was searching for something hidden inside me. "You smell different," she whispered. "Not like the others. Not like the ones who burn our land." My chest tightened. She was talking about the war, about the soldiers who had been fighting her kind for years. I was part of that war. But now, lying here under her, I felt like a child caught in something much bigger than myself. "Why did you spare me?" I asked, my voice shaking. Her glowing tattoos pulsed again, faint light spreading down her arms. She stared at me, and for a moment I thought she didn't know the answer herself. Then she spoke soft, almost like a confession. "Because my mark reacts to you. It thinks you belong." Her words hit me harder than any weapon. Belong? To what? To her kind? To her? My mind spun in circles. Suddenly she rose to her feet, pulling me up with one sharp tug. I stumbled, my legs weak, mud clinging to my armor. She looked around the jungle with sharp eyes, then back at me. "They will return. You cannot stay here," she said firmly. I opened my mouth to argue, but she grabbed my wrist. Her grip was strong, too strong to resist. Her tail lashed in the rain as she dragged me forward, deeper into the jungle. "Wait, where are you taking me?" I asked. She glanced back, her eyes burning like fire under the moonlight. "To find out why you smell like one of us." Her words made my stomach drop. I wasn't one of them. I was human. I was supposed to be their enemy. But the way her tattoos pulsed when she touched me, the way her eyes softened for just a second, told me something terrifying. Maybe she was right. Maybe I wasn't just human anymore. And as she pulled me into the endless jungle, I realized something else. I didn't know if I wanted to escape. The jungle swallowed us as she pulled me deeper through the vines. Every step I took sank into the wet ground, and every sound around us made me more nervous. I wanted to pull my wrist free, but her grip was unbreakable. Her hand felt hot, alive like fire under the rain. I kept staring at her back as she moved. The glow of her strange tattoos flickered with every step like they were breathing. Her tail lashed side to side, her ears sharp, listening for danger. She was a predator, no doubt about it. Yet she had chosen not to kill me. That thought alone made my head spin. Finally, we stopped near the ruins of a broken stone temple. Vines wrapped around the walls, and the moonlight spilled across the carvings of creatures I couldn't recognize. She turned to me, her red eyes catching the light. "Sit," she ordered. I hesitated, but my legs gave up and I dropped onto the cold stone steps. My chest still hurt from when she had tackled me earlier. My mind screamed at me to stay alert, to find a way to escape. But something about her stare kept me rooted. She knelt in front of me, closer than before. Slowly, she reached for my arm, her claws brushing against my wrist where her hand had held me. Her tattoos glowed brighter as her skin touched mine. She frowned. "There," she whispered. I looked down. My breath caught. A faint glow was rising on my own skin right where her hand touched me. "No, that's not possible," I muttered. The light spread like veins, faint but clear, glowing through my armor and up my arm. It was the same color as her marks. My stomach turned. I pulled my arm back, but the glow followed me like it was inside me now. "What did you do to me?" I shouted, fear cracking my voice. Her ears twitched and she shook her head firmly. "Not me. The mark chooses. It should not, but it has." I pressed my hand against my chest, trying to smother the light. "I'm human. I don't belong to you. I don't belong here." Her eyes locked onto mine, and for the first time she looked unsure. "Then explain why your body sings like ours." Her words made me shiver. My body sings? What did that even mean? Before I could speak, a loud roar echoed through the jungle. The ground trembled beneath us. She jumped to her feet instantly, her claws out, her body tense. My skin prickled with terror. "What was that?" I asked, my voice shaking. She didn't look at me. Her eyes scanned the trees. Hunters. They followed us. The roars grew louder, closer, the sound of beasts ripping through the vines. My panic surged. I wasn't ready for this. I had no weapon, no plan. But she turned to me, her red eyes blazing. "You carry the mark now. They will smell it. They will not let you live." My heart hammered. "So I'm dead no matter what?" She bared her teeth in a snarl, shaking her head. "Not if you stay with me." Before I could answer, she grabbed my hand again, dragging me toward the shadows of the ruined temple. Her tattoos burned like fire against my skin, and my own glow pulsed to match hers. The hunters roared again. Breaking into the clearing, I caught a glimpse. Huge figures with glowing eyes, larger and fiercer than her, their claws slicing through the stone like knives. I should have been paralyzed with fear. But as her grip tightened around my hand, something strange filled my chest. Not just fear, a strange warmth. A bond. And in that moment, one truth burned in my mind. This beast woman was no longer my enemy. She was the only thing keeping me alive. The ground shook as the hunters closed in. Their roars ripped through the night, and the ruined temple trembled with every step. I could see their glowing eyes in the shadows, circling us like wolves ready to strike. My hands shook, my heart racing, so fast it hurt. I wanted to run, but the beast woman pulled me behind her, her claws shining in the moonlight. Her tail flicked sharply, her whole body tense like a weapon about to explode. "Stay close," she growled. I pressed myself against the cold stone wall, trying to disappear, but it didn't matter. The hunters smelled me. I could hear their sharp breaths as they sniffed the air. Their voices growled in a language I couldn't understand, but their anger was clear. One of them stepped into the moonlight. He was huge, bigger than her, with thicker armor and a jaw full of sharp teeth. His tattoos burned brighter than fire across his chest. His eyes fixed on me. "Human," he hissed. I froze. My throat went dry. He wasn't just looking at me. He was hungry for me. But then his gaze snapped to her. His lip curled. "You protect prey?" She growled back, low and dangerous. "He is not prey." The hunter's laugh rumbled through the ruins. His claws scraped the stone as he stepped closer. "The mark lies. Humans do not belong." My skin crawled. He was talking about the glow still faintly pulsing under my skin. My chest tightened, but before I could speak, everything exploded. The beast woman leapt at him with a roar. Their bodies collided with bone-cracking force. The ground shook as they slammed into the temple wall. Claws clashed against claws, sparks flying as their armor scraped. I stumbled back, my heart pounding so loud I couldn't hear anything else. She moved like lightning, spinning, slashing, her tail whipping like a blade. But he was stronger. He swung her down, throwing her into the mud. No, I shouted, but my voice broke against the rain. She struggled to rise, blood dripping from her lip. The hunter raised his claw, ready to strike her down. My body moved before my mind could stop it. I grabbed a broken stone from the ground and hurled it with everything I had. It smashed against his head. He turned, stunned for a second, his glowing eyes burning with rage. His snarl was like thunder. He forgot about her and looked at me. I froze. My mistake had painted a target on my chest. He charged. I couldn't move. His claws flashed in the air, death racing straight toward me. Then, she was there, her body, slammed into his side, tackling him before he could reach me. They rolled across the stone, her teeth bared, her claws slicing deep into his armor. Her roar shook the air. She fought like a storm, like every drop of rain gave her more strength. The hunter screamed, thrashing, but she didn't stop. Her claws tore into him until his body collapsed, silent, lifeless. The jungle went quiet again. She stood over him, her chest rising and falling with heavy breaths, blood and rain dripping down her body. Her glowing tattoos flickered weakly. Slowly, she turned to me. Her eyes were still blazing, but there was something else now. Something softer. "You are a fool," she said, her voice ragged. "But you are not weak." I could barely breathe. My hands trembled as I looked at her, this wild creature who had just saved my life again. My heart pounded not just with fear anymore, but with something I didn't want to name. She stepped closer, pressing her clawed hand against my chest again. The glow pulsed stronger between us, her marks and mine beating in the same rhythm. "This bond will bring more hunters," she whispered. "They will never stop." I swallowed hard, meeting her eyes. "Then what do we do?" Her lips parted, and for a second she almost smiled. "Then we hunt first." We left the ruins behind us, moving fast through the jungle. My chest still burned from fear, but her grip on my wrist kept me steady. The rain had slowed, but the air was heavy, full of mist and smoke from fires far away. I glanced at her as we ran. Her body was tense, her tail cutting through the air with every step. Blood dripped from a wound across her shoulder, but she didn't slow down. I wanted to say something, to thank her, but the words stuck in my throat. Finally, she pulled me into a cave hidden behind a waterfall. The sound of rushing water echoed around us, drowning out the jungle. She let go of my wrist and leaned against the stone wall, her chest rising and falling with sharp breaths. I stood there, not knowing what to do. My mind was still racing. The fight, the mark glowing on my skin, the hunter's words, all of it clashed inside me like a storm. "You should have run," she said suddenly. Her voice cut through the sound of the water. I blinked at her. "If I had run, you'd be dead." Her eyes narrowed, glowing faintly even in the dark. "You risked your life for me?" I swallowed hard. "Maybe because you risked yours first." For a moment, silence filled the cave. Then she lowered her head, her wet hair falling across her face. I couldn't tell if it was shame or something else. I stepped closer, the glow in my arm still faint but alive. I lifted my hand without thinking. "You're hurt." Her eyes snapped, up to me. For a second I thought she'd push me away, but then she nodded just once. I tore a strip from my sleeve and pressed it against her wound. She hissed at the touch, her claws flexing, but she didn't stop me. "You fight like prey," she whispered. "But your heart, it fights like us." I looked into her red eyes, and my chest tightened. Maybe I don't want to fight like either. Maybe I just want to survive. Her lips curved, almost into a smile, but it faded as quickly as it came. She leaned closer, her face inches from mine. I could feel her breath against my skin. "The mark will not let you choose," she said softly. "It ties us. You are mine now, and I am yours." Her words sent a shiver through me. My stomach knotted, my mind torn between fear and something else I couldn't explain. I wanted to deny it, to say she was wrong, but the glow under my skin pulsed stronger, matching hers. Before I could answer, the ground trembled again. A deep roar echoed through the jungle, louder than any we had heard before. She froze, her ears sharp, her eyes wide. "That is not a hunter," she whispered. "That is a warlord." My blood went cold. "Stronger than the one you fought?" Her jaw tightened. "Stronger than all of them." The cave shook as another roar tore through the night. Rocks fell from the ceiling, splashing into the water. My chest tightened. "We couldn't stay here." She turned to me, her claws brushing my arm. Her eyes burned with something fierce and unbreakable. "If we face him, we face him together." I nodded, even though fear burned in every part of me. My hands trembled, but I forced the words out. Together. And in that moment, even as the ground shook and death drew closer, I realized something terrifying. I no longer wanted to escape her. I wanted to stand with her. The jungle shook with every roar. The sound was so deep it rattled my bones. The beast woman's claws scraped the cave wall as she pulled me toward the waterfall. Her red eyes burned with fire. "He is close," she whispered. The roar came again, and this time I saw him, the warlord. He was massive, twice her size, covered in black armor carved from bone and steel. His tattoos glowed like burning rivers across his chest and arms. His eyes locked on me, and I felt smaller than a child. He stepped into the clearing, outside the cave, each footfall crushing stone. His voice rumbled like thunder. "Human, you carry the mark. It does not belong to you." I tried to speak, but my throat closed. The beast woman stepped in front of me, her body a shield. Her tail lashed, her claws ready. "He belongs to me," she growled. The warlord's laugh shook the trees. "Then you are a traitor. You will die with him." And then he charged. The ground exploded under his steps. She met him head-on, her claws slashing across his chest, but his strength was overwhelming. He swung his massive arm and she flew across the clearing, slamming into a tree. My heart stopped. "No!" I shouted. I rushed to her side, lifting her as she struggled to stand. Blood dripped from her mouth, but her eyes still burned. "Fight," she hissed. "The mark gives you strength. Use it." I looked at my arm. The glow was brighter than ever, pulsing with fire under my skin. My whole body trembled. I didn't know how to use it. I didn't even know what it was. The warlord stomped toward us, claws raised. My chest tightened. If I didn't act, we were both dead. I stood in front of her, my hands shaking. "Come on," I whispered to myself. "Do something." The warlord swung his claw at me. I lifted my arm without thinking. The glow exploded out of me. A shockwave blasted from my chest, throwing him back into the trees. The jungle shook as he crashed through the stone ruins. I fell to my knees, my whole body burning. The beast woman gasped, her red eyes wide. You did it." The warlord roared in rage, rising again. He was wounded, but not finished. His eyes blazed hotter than fire. He charged again, faster, angrier. This time I didn't step back. The mark guided me. My body moved with hers like we were one. She leapt with me, claws slashing while the fire inside me erupted again. Together we struck. The glow burned through his chest, her claws tearing deep. His roar shook the night one last time before he collapsed into the mud, lifeless. Silence fell. The jungle stopped trembling. The rain washed over us. I collapsed to the ground, gasping for breath. She knelt beside me, her claws gentle now, her eyes glowing softer. "You are no longer just human," she whispered. "The mark has chosen you. It has chosen us." I looked at her, my chest still glowing faintly, my heart pounding with something more than fear now. I thought of my squad, of the war, of everything I had believed. None of it felt real anymore. Only this moment did. Slowly, I nodded. Then we survived together. Her lips curved into the faintest smile. She leaned closer, her forehead brushing mine. The warmth of her skin calmed me, even as the storm of the world still raged around us, and in that moment, I knew one thing. The war had brought me here. The mark had changed me, but she was the reason I wanted to live.